Hello and welcome everyone. It's a beautiful, beautiful day today. It's Friday, 9th of June on the year of 2023. And I'm really, really excited to welcome all of you and thank you from the bottom of my heart together with Enolia for participating on the speaking event Envisioning Our Future organized by Expression of Humanity. We would love to say thank you because you took the time. You are brave enough to come here, to speak, to share your message to the world, and we are very grateful to you. Speak from your heart. Let our messages, let our light go out there and touch the hearts of many, many, many people because the world really needs us now. The world needs like-minded people, people who spread the love, spread the light, and who speak their truth from their heart. And that's why you are all here and we welcome you. And I would love to kick off today's speaking event introducing my beautiful mentor, friend, Dr. Enolia Foti. She's from the USA, but currently she's living in Angola, which was a bold, brave move from her side. I just say, wow. She's an award-winning international speaker, a global influencer, a social entrepreneur, a conscious transformational coach, and an author. A natural orator, Enolia harmonizes corporate experience with a broad knowledge base that includes many traditions from around the world. To motivate and inspire others to reach their goals, she shares the ancient wisdom she gained under the tutelage of indigenous elders. She imparts her gifts to inspire and empower the soul by sharing her cumulative knowledge of ancient practices and teachings up through the present day. Enolia walks her path as a teacher, counselor, and healer from the lessons of the elders. She is a grandmother elder, modern-day medicine woman, and I am very, very honored to have her here with me, with us today. I'm very honored to walk by her side on our journey together. So I would love to warmly welcome Enolia Foti today.
Thank you so much for that warm welcome, Krisztina, and thank you, everybody. I am so excited to be here, and I am so excited to kick off Expressions of Humanity as the sponsor of this beautiful, beautiful gathering that we're having today. Extraordinary impact through simple action. So, what is it when we envision our future? Envisioning our future today has so much of an impact when you come into your heart and you look at how the world can be shaped. We've gone through a lot over the years, growing up, seeing things we like, seeing things we don't like. But the beauty about being and the beauty about life is that we can envision our future. We can establish and set the framework by which we want to work. Many people talk about the fact that they don't like the situations that they're in terms of how their work is structured or how their life is living. But to be bold and to reach within yourself and to come forward and to restructure what your life looks like is a brave step. But all of us are capable of taking that step. So when we talk about envisioning our future, I can go back to my own story. I worked for corporate for a long time, 20 years in a corporate career. And I wanted to make a bold and a brave move. I didn't want to work for corporate anymore. I wanted to be able to see the world. I wanted to be able to contribute to the world in a positive way. So with a lot of planning and a lot of inner work, I took a brave step, picking up and moving from New York to California and starting my own business. And at the time I called it Infinite Possibilities Journey to Empowerment. And my purpose for Infinite Possibilities was to reach in and all of the dreams that I had held that I had wanted to embark on, but was afraid to do so, was my focus. So Infinite Possibilities Journey to Empowerment was going to encapsulate all of the things that I love to do. Not that I had to do, not that I felt obligated to do, but that I love to do. And that I was going to create the role that I wanted for myself, not the framework that I had to fit into in order to meet somebody else's expectations or somebody else's needs. And when creating that framework, I sat back and I realized that I could structure it such that I drew from all of the skills that I always wanted and dared to endeavor. Even though I didn't have, let's say, that skill set fully developed, or even if it was fully developed, that I could play to my strength, that I could set my own rules, that I didn't have to fit anybody else's rules. So in envisioning that future for myself, I was able to contact 12 friends and basically say, will you host me? Because I was going to be a teacher and I was going to work to facilitate drum making, to facilitate women's empowerment, to facilitate leadership empowerment, to create retreat. And then what I found is that after calling my 12 friends and word of mouth, those 12 friends ended up being 22 states and 4 countries later, and started me on a path that I wouldn't ever dare to think that I'd be on. So grateful to divine spirit, but to the courageous woman within me that dared to take the chance, that dared to take the leap. And it was a leap. It was a leap off of a cliff. But unafraid to pick myself up if or when I fell down. Changed the course of my life. I am a social entrepreneur. I am a multi-award winning speaker. I am a grandmother. And I wouldn't have been any of these things if I didn't take a leap of faith. Faith in the divine, but faith within myself. All encompassing. So I subscribe to you. You are going to hear some powerful speakers today. They have all taken a leap. They have all envisioned their future and have a story to tell. A story that will touch your heart. A story that will have a great impact. A story that might even just change your life. We have wonderful speakers. Listen, learn, and be. It is my honor to kick off Expressions of Humanity, Envisioning Your Future speaking event today. And I welcome all of our speakers to our platform. And I am grateful to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Enolia. I completely, totally agree with you. I love what you said. Yes, we can envision our future. And yes, sometimes bold moves are necessary in order to reach, what we vision for ourselves. I absolutely agree on that. And I'm going to ask you a question what you just asked, and you who are here today or you are going to watch this later. What is it that you want for yourself? What do you truly, really want? And I'm going to leave you on this. And I'm going to ask you, Enolia, if possible, let's go forward to our next speaker.
So what I would want for myself and is really what I want for everyone, which is to lead from your heart, work from your heart, and don't be afraid to make that bold and courageous move in trusting yourself and trusting the divine. That's what we're here for. We're here to light up people's lives and to make bold moves and to create that which we think is going to allow not only ourselves to grow, but others to grow too. And so that is my intention for myself, but that is the intention I have for anyone I engage. So I am grateful, and I hope that answers the question. And thank you.
Thank you, Enolia. Thank you.
So I am here to introduce you to His Excellency Divesh Sreekeessoon from Mauritius. Divesh is an award-winning international speaker, transformational trainer, visionary, and coach, and my friend. He is the founder of We Champions International, coordinator and director of Lama Tai Ki Foundation, Southern India Ocean and Africa. Head representative of Alliance for the Peoples of the World in Mauritius, brand ambassador for Afro Film Festival, His Excellency, the president of Success World One, Mauritius, and the official representative of Her Majesty Queen Nadia Harihiri, Queen of Africa, received the title of His Excellency by Her Royal Excellency, Queen Nadia Harihiri, Queen of Africa. Divesh is the founder of a complementary and alternative therapeutic center specializing in energetic healing, sound therapy, animal therapy, counseling, massage, geobiology, and bioenergetic. He is also co-founder of Hypnomind Therapy. This program has been designed to provide a solid foundation in the art of hypnosis. We share these tools needed to show how to improve our lives. We welcome His Excellency Divesh Sreekeessoon, who will be presenting Illusion.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, first of all, my lovely sister, Enolia and Krisztina, for inviting me on this speaking event. So I would like, first of all, to say a few words about illusion. We have, in our daily life, illusion is here. And in Sanskrit, we call it Maya. There's Maya in our daily life. And according to many spiritual gurus across the world, humanity is currently living 99% in illusion and only 1% in reality. And this is the case. Ladies, we are here, present, and this is the present moment that we are. Maya, as I was saying, is the Sanskrit word of illusion. We are currently facing the time, as we know, the golden age, the God age, the golden age, and then the Kali Yuga, the age of destruction. The age of destruction shows us what is the illusion, what we see, and the perspection that we see. For example, Krisztina looked at Enolia in a perspection. I may be looking at Enolia in a different perspection. Maggie may be looking at Enolia in a different perspection. But the real perspection is the perspection of love. Seeing with a the divine eye, listening with the divine ears, speaking with the divine mouth, smelling with the divine nose. And these are the exact words that my lovely sister Enolia used to say. Be one with ourselves. Vasudeva Kutumbakam. The world is one. The world is our own temple, our own body. Being one with ourselves, being one with the I am present. This is the only key to see in the unconditional love perspective. Even this is a perspective, because this is the one perspective of the primal energy, love. Illusion is the word of judgment. We may see, looking at someone, ah, she look like this. Ah, she go and do this, 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 this. This is judgment. This is the perspective that we are looking at that person. But if we take the divine being, the lovely side of that person, then we'll see the real magic within that person. Thank you very much.
Thank you, His Excellency Divesh. Thank you. I love the thoughts and the insight what you shared. You know, Maya is the name of my daughter. I know exactly what illusion means. I know how it looks like. And I also know and learn from you and many, many others around me how to not live in the illusion, really. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Thank you for talking about the love. Thank you for talking about the primal energy. God, at the end of the day, this is what we all would love to spread in the word, that we are all one. There is oneness, there is love, and that's the most highest possible frequency in the universe. Thank you, Div.
Thank you so much, Divesh, my brother. Feel in your heart. I would like to take the opportunity to introduce Reverend Joslyn Farray Pierre, who hails from Trinidad and Tobago. Reverend Joslyn, a phenomenal aromatherapist and also an ambassador for Expressions of Humanity, shares that her experience with Empower, Achieve, Succeed Masterclass was an absolute phenomenal and life-transforming one. And how she came into the class feeling like a martyr, working, leading, and feeling undervalued, and had lots of outdated stories and yearning to live in absolute fullness of her truth, and how the class helped her to reach deep within to parts that she had buried and uncovered, and like those layers like never before. So how this methodology has been empowering experience from beginning to end, from the brilliance and wisdom of the facilitator and beautiful therapeutic and empowering lyrics in the programs and songs of the powerful and engaging and practical exercises. Today, she stands as a healed leader with poised confidence in her power, speaking truth and walking happily in another amazing season of her life to continue to serve, prosper, and evaluate our world. Reverend Joslyn will present to us Access a New Story. Thank you, Reverend Joslyn, and welcome to the stage.
Oh, thank you. It is such a pleasure to be on the Expression of Humanity platform. It's truly an honor. Today, I want to ask you, what stories are you telling yourself? Or what story have you placed yourself in? Is it a story of victimization? A story where you are focused on guilt, shame, blame, holding feeling of resentment to yourself maybe, or not willing to forgive yourself for whatever event you may have attached yourself to, or you telling yourself, oh, I'm a hater, I'm a bully, whatever it might be. What are those stories? Have you put yourself in, or have been telling yourself? Or is it a story of joy and peace? What are those stories? No, I found myself caught up in stories a while ago. And thank God this is something of the past. But those stories affected me for quite a while. And mainly, these were stories of victimization, stories of me playing small, stories of me not owning my power, attaching myself to other people's emotions and other people's opinion. As a leader, I was functioning, but I got caught up in those stories and was going round and around in circles. And of course, once you are focusing on yourself and being in touch with yourself, you realize that you would want to stop those cycles that keep repeating themselves and those stories that keep coming up and on and going on and on and on. And so it is with that I decided in one of my meditation sessions, as I was doing my mystical sensitivity technique, where I place my hands on my heart space and I envisage that white light flowing in, through, and throughout my body. And as I focus on that, and I meditated using that technique and affirm myself, a name came up. And as the name came up, I decided, you know what? I better ask. And so I asked. I asked a mentor, I asked a leader, and that leader said yes to my asking. And is in this premise, I began that work of Enolia's EAS masterclass. A masterclass which brought me head on to realizing that I had placed myself in a story that was not profitable, a story that was not going anywhere, and at any time, I could remove myself from that story. And so as we together, I asking and she saying yes, and I'm being willing to work through the process to be able to peel back those layers and to throw out these outdated stories. I was truly able to see who I am for exactly what I am. I was able to detach from those stories and truly begin to speak my truth, standing with confidence and poise as a leader, embracing the courageous leader that I am, and being able to move forward. And it is in this premise I leave with you the acronym that whenever you find yourself in a story, you should be able to quickly access. And that acronym is ASK, A-S-K. A stands for ask. Ask for help. Whenever you find you're going around in circles, or you may be caught up in some story that is not your own, ask for help. The S is for surrender. Surrender to that process. Become vulnerable so you will be able to make that shift and to access those tools that you will need to be the success that you are. And keep moving forward. That's the key. Keep moving forward. Now, when you have accessed that new story and you've truly been your authentic self, speaking your truth, keep moving forward by showing and spreading your light, being that beacon of light for those who would need your message. And so, my friends, that's what it's all about in accessing your own story. Ask. Ask for the help that you will need. Surrender to the process and keep on moving. Thank you again, Expression of Humanity, for that marvelous opportunity to speak my truth and to confidently move forward as a leader. Many blessings.
Thank you so much, Reverend Joslyn. I truly appreciate. I love you. I see you. I love the story, what you shared, and what you were talking about, the ask about accessing surrender and keep moving forward. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and insight with the audience. I just learned. For me, it's always hard, with the surrender part. Sometimes it's hard really to surrender. And I just would love to ask you, what do you perceive? What do you think? What are the lessons that the audience should learn really, truly, if you reshare that again from what you just shared?
I think the most important thing is for one to recognize that you got to get out of that old story. So ask for the help that you would need. And as the acronym said, be willing to do that work, surrender to it, get vulnerable. Because it's in your vulnerability, you would really be able to access that other story. Yes? And then, of course, you don't want to stick there. You want to share that light when you get that story. You want to share that light to others. So that's what I would want to leave with our audience.
Thank you very much, Reverend Joslyn. Thank you. That was amazing.
Thank you so much, Reverend Joslyn. It's such a pleasure to have you here. So excited. And our next speaker, I'd like to introduce you to Louie Bishoff. Her country, the United States. One day, Louie woke up and realized that alcohol was ruling her life, that she was neglecting her kids, and that the after-marriage relationship that she was in was very codependent and unhealthy. Today, Louie is an entrepreneur, a great mother to her young adult sons, and by applying what she created with her copyrighted content in the Sober Relationship Blueprint, which is trademarked, she has much deeper relationships with the people in her life. Since 2011, when her marriage ended, Louie has actively been learning how to sober date and how to have healthy, mature, sober relationships with all people. Louie, using the Sober Relationship Blueprint, has helped dozens of people build sober date plannings and find success in their romantic relationships. Louie resides in Phoenix, Arizona area and has been sober from alcohol since July 11, 2012. Louie's presentation, Creating a Healthy Sober Relationship. We welcome Louie to our platform.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. And most thank you to all of the people and your team, and for both of you wonderful women for putting together this global aspect of being able to bring messages to other people throughout the world is just so tremendous, and it's so positive. And I'm just so wonderfully grateful and honored to be able to be here and be a part of it. And for me, I'm looking forward to being able to build on this and be able to keep supporting you and what you both do, and in the world that you live in, the world I live in, and the world that we want to be able to keep moving forward and make positive change. So thank you. I appreciate being here, and I'm grateful for being here. I'm grateful because today, not because it's cliche, but because today I'm sober and I'm able to be fully present in all the positive things that happen in life, like today, and even the negative things that happen in life. And that's perfect. And that's wonderful. So again, thank you. And my name is Louie Bishoff, as I was introduced, and I'm the founder of the Sober Relationship Blueprint. And as was said on that great, thank you for the introduction, Enolia, on the aspect about what my life used to look like. So that is what my life used to look like. I used to basically wake up, start drinking. My kids were young at the time. I would feed them breakfast, still be drinking, drive them to school. No judgment, just telling you guys the truth. Drive them to school, be drinking, go to work, be drinking, go to lunch. Lunch was a liquid lunch for several hours, be drinking, pick them up after school, go after work, pick them up after school, be drinking, go to the baseball practices, games, be drinking. That was my life. That was a really small, very controlled, very much a life in fear. And that's not the relationship I have with myself anymore. And that's not the relationship I have in life anymore. As was mentioned, my marriage came to an end about 2010, 2011. And that was the tool that I was using, was alcohol, because I didn't have and I didn't know other coping skills, other coping mechanisms. So being able to move forward, being able to do the work, being able to show up, being able to work with others and be open to learning for myself is has enabled me to be able to grow and change and be in that direction to help other people also through my program, the Sober Relationship Blueprint. So I'm going to just touch on Sober Relationship Blueprint for one moment, and then I'll get into 5 tips for being able to build a healthy, sober love relationship, because I always really believe that it's important for people to be able to hear some actionable items that they can be able to do to make their life a little bit better. So real quickly on Sober Relationship Blueprint. So, okay, sober, like, of course, like Louie, you're sober, you don't drink alcohol anymore. You should be a sober relationship. That's true. However, yay, the Sober Relationship Blueprint, actually, each letter of the word sober is an area for learning. Because I really believe that people are able to learn, they're able to start to grasp information better when they're able to put it kind of into some categories with some letters. So when I say Sober Relationship Blueprint, the S for sober actually is for self-esteem. And that's the first area of learning. That's the first area of being able to keep moving forward for yourself. That's what I learned. That's what I've heard other people say on here also. It's being able to gain that self-confidence, being able to have that self-love, and being able to move forward from there. So the first letter for sober is self-esteem. The second one is openness, for O, being open to new things. When you think you've got a type that you're involved with, how about if we just be open to dating different people, or getting involved or talking to different people, being open to that. B is about boundaries, being able to set boundaries, being able to keep boundaries, being able to respect boundaries. So I don't know about anybody else. I can only speak about myself. That word boundaries was like this foreign word that I had no idea about. I just was like, oh, boundary? You have a boundary? Oh, that's just a suggestion. I'm going to do whatever I want. Oh, I can have a boundary? Do that. Simple boundaries like that. So that's the B in sober. The E is for evolving into other intimacies. So not just sexual intimacy, but being able to learn about emotional intimacy, intellectual intimacy, spiritual intimacy, being able to learn for me how to show up as a more developed and complex person. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in a more personable way, more authentic, genuine, versus just trying to, I call it, hide behind the smoke mirrors of sexual intimacy. So being able to develop into more developed person. So that is the E. And the last one is R. And the R stands for readiness and being able to get out there and be ready to do new things, talk to new people, being able to be ready and show up in a relational manner in your relationships for romance, for family, for work, for any type of relationships. In my experience, as I've gotten more relational, those are the things that I've learned is to be more ready. So that I just wanted to give a quick tip on that, on the information about sober relationship blueprint. My information can all be found, and all this information can be found on soberrelationshipblueprint.com. And I'll also right now, as I promised, get into the 5 tips for a healthy, sober relationship. So tip number 1, keep things in perspective. And now I'm speaking, it's actually across the board, but mostly I'm speaking about sober dating or sober romantic relationships. So when I say keep things in perspective, what I mean is that being able to not make that relationship the center of your life. Being able to have that relationship or that dating situation just be a part of your life. Keep things in perspective. Also, I am human. So I know that I have flaws. So when I'm in a situation with other humans, I cannot just have the perception of, look at their problem, I have to be self-aware. I want to be self-aware about my own flaws. So being able to keep those things in perspective. That's number 1. Number 2, build a genuine connection. So that kind of goes back to that evolving into other intimacies. So when I say build a genuine connection, stay in the present. That's what I've found is really good, is being able to stay in the present, not future tripping, not getting into fantasy, and also not being depressed and bummed out about the past. Being able to stay in the present, actually for me, has allowed me to be a lot more engaged in all the relationships and friendships and romantic relationships that I've had and dates that I've been on. And the relationship that I have right now, I love the relationship I have right now, although it's new, new, it's like 3 months, but is that being able to be present in that is really, really important for me because I'm able to process my true feelings without drugs, without alcohol, without other stimulants or distractions in a way that's a lot more authentic. So with number 2, which is build a genuine connection, again, staying in the present, being genuine, being authentic. If you go to dinner and you don't like bread, don't eat the bread. Just say, I don't really like bread. Like, just be your authentic self. I just know for myself, and in the introduction, I was in a codependent relationship and I wasn't myself. I was a chameleon. Oh, you like country music? I like country music. Not really. Oh, you like to go to art shows and look at abstract art? Me too. Not really. But I was just a chameleon because I didn't know who I was. So that's number 2, is build a genuine connection. That aspect about staying in the present and just learning about yourself and being your authentic self. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3, handle rejection gracefully. Okay, don't everybody freak out. So when I say handle rejection gracefully, that's both ways. So if you're not a fit for someone and they communicate that it's not a fit because they don't call you back or they ghost you, I know it happens all the time. This is modern day dating and modern day relationships. But don't take it personally. Being able to understand that person prefers people who are brunette and you're not brunette, that's okay. Being able to say, like, it's not about me. It's not personal about me. It's just not a fit. That's all. And you know what? You have that option too. You have the worthiness and you have the right to tell other people that's not a fit. I don't know about you guys. I can only speak about myself, but I used to go through relationships all the time. Oh, this guy likes me. Okay, so I'll like him. But I didn't even know if I liked him. I just was like, oh, he likes me, so I must have some value, so I'll figure out how to like him. But I don't have to do that anymore, because if I go back to the S for sober, for self-esteem, I know myself. And I know, hey, you know what, person? You're not my type. That's not a fit. And that's okay. That's how learning to do rejection. I'm going to do the rejecting or receive the rejecting. It's okay. It's not about you. It's not about me personally. It's just not the right fit. So that's tip number 3. And tip number 4 is being able to watch for relationship red flags. Watch for those kinds of relationships that are only driven by when you're having great conversations, they're being great conversations because they're being because their drugs or alcohol are involved. If you're having great sexual relationships or it's all based on sex, that's not really a strong, deep relationship. For me, not a judgment, just saying, for me, my 5 tips are about healthy love relationships, sober relationships, and being able to have more authentic relationships that are not based on just sexual relations, that are not centered around alcohol, that are not centered around things that are keeping me distracted, are not the places where I want to be. There's also that aspect, and I'll just touch on this real quickly before I get to number 5, is the aspect about trouble making a commitment. So the reason why I'm saying that is also just, look for people who are not available to give you time. Maybe they're too busy with their work. Maybe they're too busy with their families. Maybe they're really busy with their school age kids. And if you're in a position where you want to be able to have more of a committed relationship, of a healthy, sober love relationship, maybe that's not a fit either. Also, emotional commitment or emotional availability. So just a quick tip on that. All right, the last one for number 5 is being able to build, wait for it, build mutual trust. Mutual. So being able to build mutual trust, what that comes from is consistent aspects of words and deeds, words and actions. If I say I like apples and I eat apples, then the words I'm saying and the actions I'm doing, they're consistent. And that was a really simple example, I know. But when I talk about the aspects of a relationship, if someone says they're going to pick you up at 5 o'clock and they pick you up at 7 o'clock, that is a differentiation of words and deeds. So just being able to be consistent and being able to communicate effectively, going back to your self-worth, going back to the aspects of the SOBER, knowing your self-esteem, being open to new things, learning boundaries, evolving into other intimacies, and being ready for whatever that next level up is for your life. So just on soberrelationshipblueprint.com, as those 5 aspects, those 5 tips, it's a free download, it's a free PDF. And the aspects again on those 5 tips are: keep things in perspective, number 1. Number 2, build a genuine connection with each other. Number 3, handle rejection gracefully. Number 4, watch for relationship red flags. And finally, number 5, being able to build mutual trust with each other. I've done these things. I love the life I have today. I love the way that I show up, whether it's positive things or negative things. I have the tools, and these are the ways that I move through life. And I'm open to being able to help other people also move into those areas. So thank you so much. It's such a joy to be able to be here and be able to give these tips to other people so they can start living a healthy, sober love relationship too.
Oh, wow. You just leave me speechless. I absolutely loved your speech. I am absolutely sure that many of us, many people who are going to listen to this have a lot to learn from what you just shared today. It was a really powerful sharing. Thank you for the sober relationship blueprint. You shared where they can find you, and it's absolutely amazing and brilliant. I congratulate you, and all my respect to you, all my love for all what you did and what you do. Thank you, Louie.
Oh, thank you for your kind words, Krisztina. It's such a joy to receive those. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Louie. You're a light, you know that. Keep shining.
Thank you so much, Louie. Oh my goodness, you're going to impact many, many lives out there. That message is powerful and it's so needed. So again, thank you for honoring us.
My pleasure, my pleasure. And it's all mine, truly. I really am grateful and respectful of all the work that you both do as well, and all the people on the Zoom today.